So, how do we grow turmeric? And this is turmeric, this is the root structure of turmeric. How do we grow it? How do we get from the rhizome to several hands? And this is what we call a hand of turmeric. This is actually the root structure. Well, not all of the root structure, but this is the part we want. This is the paste. This is the powder. This is the everything. This is it. So how do we get this? Well, I'm going to show you how to grow turmeric. It all starts with a rhizome, which is a fancy way of saying we take a bit of this and get this. What we're looking for is we're looking for little nodules on top, right? And what that's going to do is it's going to start putting shoots up, which become the stalks, the leaves, and occasionally a flower, and the roots will come down the bottom. And this is all in soil, and you'll end up getting, from one of these, several of these, hopefully, as long as you do it right. Pretty cool. So what does turmeric itself need? Well, we need to plant this in the soil, and we need to do it when it's nice and warm. Doing this in a cold environment, it won't grow, it won't work. So we need temperatures above 20 degrees Celsius for it to actually work. Turmeric takes about 9 months to grow, so it's a long growing spice. But, you know, you can end up with an awful lot of it. Here's the thing, a lot of people will plant out lots and lots of rhizomes, and they'll get like 10 plants. They'll get these huge big harvests of hands and go, now what do I do with it? Start off with one plant and work it out from there. Because when you have these rhizomes, when you have these ones, you can make this into fresh golden paste, which is very great anti-inflammatory. You can use it and eat it raw, just saying. You can grate it up, freeze it, grate it up and pop it into any of your soups, stews, salads, so many different things. Or you can dry it, blend it up, and to make it into a powder. That's what I'm thinking about. So there are many, many options. A fresh turmeric root is going to be not as strong as the concentrated powder, so do keep that in mind. But if you start off with one plant, it's going to be a lot easier to work out what you do with it. So warm temperatures, 20 degrees. We need one rhizome to be able to put in the soil. You also need full sun. Yep, needs full sun. It'll grow about 1 meter high. I'm going to show you some video showing you how it's going to grow. And we need to make sure that it's well fertilized, and then you can pretty much leave it. I pop it in my wiki beds in September, and come June the next year, I harvest. I have a whole heap of it. So let's have a look at the journey of turmeric. How you can take one rhizome that you can get at a store and get a whole heap of hands. Let's see how to do that. Planting your rhizome is super, super easy. Make sure you've got either a container or a wicking bed or a garden bed or your soil that it's got at least the 30 centimeters depth, because we're going to dig the rhizome in, but you need to make sure that you've got enough room for the rest of the rhizome to grow out and spread, and you'll end up with a whole heap of hands underneath where you've planted the rhizome, and then the stalk will come up the top. So it literally is as simple as digging a little hole. You're wanting to get a rhizome that has what we have, these little nodes at the top and at the bottom, because this is where the stalks are going to come up from. Now, I want to sit there and say, make sure you plant it with them facing upwards. The reality is it doesn't matter. It will work anyway. You can even plant it, you know, vertically, and it still works. Okay. So if you want to be pedantic, okay, then, you know, put the nodes there and then cover it up. Give it a good water, and pretty much make sure that your soil's got good fertilizer in it, water, full sun, and that you're putting it in over the summer period. It's 9 months. It does not like winter. It doesn't like the cold. So where I live, I plant it in September and harvest in June, and then leave it. That's it. There's not a whole lot of work that you need to do with it. So that is planting it, and let's have a look at how the rest of it's coming along. Just out here having a look at the wicker beds after all the rain we've had, and I can see I've got a turmeric sprout here and another one here, which is awesome. I absolutely love being able to find them. Of course, there's a whole heap of weeds as well. Doesn't matter about the leaves everywhere. That's a perfectly okay thing. But also moving over into this wicker bed, got a nice turmeric sprout coming up here and here, and I can see one up the back. Want to come out. Now you can see nice firm stalks. The turmeric's all in the tubers underneath. 9 months later, that turmeric is now ready to be harvested. It's also freezing cold in the middle of winter, or the very start of winter. But what we can see is all of those leaves that were nice, big, green and healthy and standing tall are now starting to fall over and turn yellow. The yellow is the key. After 9 months, if it hasn't been 9 months and your leaves are turning yellow, then that will be probably a nitrogen issue, so not enough fertilizer. But after 9 months, I can see these guys are very much ready to be harvested. And what we're wanting is the tubers that are underneath, the rhizomes that are underneath the plant. So the root structure, it's what we're going to be pulling up. How awesome. So yes, it can be quite easy to get it. It'll depend on the quality of your soil. We now just got to pull that, get rid of all that dirt, and see how easy these fingers are breaking off. What we can see here though, a really good example. All right in the middle here is that the mother rhizome that we popped in. So that was what we call the rhizome that we first popped in the soil. That has then gone, and all of these little nodules that are on the rhizome is where all of these fingers have then started sprouting off. That is just bloody cool.